4.1 exponential functions. Approximate the number using a calculator. All right, so let's try using a calculator here. This is the one that comes with Windows. Okay, so I put something like 3 to the 2.4 power equals, looks like it's a 13.9666, so I'm just going to do 13.97. So it's 13.966. Say I want to round it to the hundredth place. Because 6 is 5 or greater, I'm going to round up, which means the 6 is going to turn into a 7. And these are all approximations, right? So this is just a little bit more rounded approximation. There we go. All right, let's try the next one. Okay, so now we have 4 to the square root of 6 power. So 4 to 6, now we get a square root. That's the square root of 6 is 2.4494897, blah, 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 right? Then when I put equal, it's going to bring 4 to that power of 2.4 whatever. And it looks like we get a 29.8359. Double check. 29.8359. Okay, now, if I tried it, and this is an approximation, but let's say we want to round it to the nearest hundredth. So to the right of a 3 is a 5. 5 is 5 or greater, so we're going to round up. 3 is going to turn into a 4. Okay, let's try the next one. So now we are dealing with 9 to the negative 1.9. Now on this one, you type in 1.9 and then you flip the sign by that. It turns into a negative, put equal, and you get this number right here, 0.0. All right, so 0.0 15379. 0.015379. Double check. 0.015379. Okay, way more than I needed. That's okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna like before I try to grab the first 4 digits or so significant. So I guess I'll 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll do this. Okay. So to the right of that is a 9. 9 is 5 or greater, so I'm going to round up. The 7 is going to turn into an 8. Whoops. An 8. Like that. So approximately. And then finally, we have e to the, and this is an approximation, the 2.7, blah, 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 blah. Many calculators will just leave it as e, but this is a pretty close approximation to, I don't know how many digits that is, but that's a lot of digits. All right, so we're going to bring that to the negative. So I'm going to put 0.99, and then I'm going to flip to a negative and put equals. And that basically flips it around. So instead of it being, 2.7, it's 1 over 2.7, blah, blah, blah. And this is the approximation we get. So 37, 15, 7. You can put some more in there if you want to, but it's plenty. How many I put there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. So I want to move it to I'm going to do 4 digits here. So I look to the right of it. There's a 7, which is 5 or greater. So I'm going to round up. So that turns into the 5 into a 6. So these are approximations. Now my math lab could ask you to round it to other digits. So the first couple of times I did it to the nearest hundredths place, then I did it to this place right here, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, 100,000th, and this one over here was tenths, 100,000ths, 10 thousandths. Whoops, tenths, 100,000ths, 10 thousandths, tenths, 100,000ths, 10 thousandths, 100,000ths. Yeah. So I did a variety of rounding there. It'll ask you to round to different numbers on the computer. Okay, now there are a couple of ways you can do this. One is you could just plug it in. These are numbers that you can actually get exact answers to. These are not really approximations. And technically, you probably don't even need to use a calculator on this. So the first thing is this is a negative. So we're going to flip it to the bottom, and it leaves a 1. So now you end up with 4 to the positive 2 power, which is the same as 1/16. Then we would do 5 to, or sorry, we do the negative 1, which is the next one. So this is 1/16. And the next one is going to be a negative 1 in there. So we're going to say 4 to the negative 1, which is the same as 1 over 4 to the first power, which is just 1 over 4, right? So we would do this one as 1 over 4. Okay, and then we do 0, 4 to, there we go, 4 to the 0, which is equal to 1. All right, 1. And the next one is going to be 4 to 1, which is 4 to the first, which is just 4. And then we do 4 to the, f to this, function with a 2 for x. Okay, so, and that gives me 4 to 2, which is 16. Okay, we do the same kind of process on this one. So I'll try to write a little smaller maybe. So in this case right here, I'm going to plug a -2 in. -2. So that would give me 1/2 to the -2. Now in this case, because it's a fraction, you can flip it, right? So what would happen is I just flip the 1 and the 2, and then that would turn the exponent into a positive. So now it's 2 over 1 to the positive second power, which is the same as 2 to the second power, which is the same as 4. Cool. All right, let's try the next one. So now we have f of -1, which would be 1/2 to the negative first power, which is the same as, 2 over 1 to the positive first power, which is the same as 2 to the first power, which is just 2. All right. Well, how about the next one? How about 0th power? All right. So 1/2 to the 0th power is just 1. All right. And then we say f to the first power, which is just going to be 1/2 to the first power, which is just 1/2. 1/2. And then finally we have f to the second power, which is 1/2. 1/2 to the second power, which is, 1 to the second power over 2 to the second power, which is just 1 over 4. 1/4. 1/4. And there you go.